Hello backpackers, this is Juan from Juan Backpacks and I'm here today to do a first look of the Outdoor Vitals CS40 backpack. It's something new in my kit for 2024. I talked about in kind of my overview of new gear that I'm going to be using and trying out in 2024. There's a video someplace, I'll put the link here someplace. But at any rate, I'm going to do a first look. I haven't used this in the field yet, so when I get more use, usually when I hit about 300 miles with a piece of gear, I'll do a full review of that piece of gear if I feel like I've got enough into it. In my first look videos, what I talk about, number one, not all the features, but the key features that drew me to the piece of gear. The second thing I like to talk about are the use cases, like why I'm bringing it into my gear kit. And then the last thing I like to talk about along the way is any concerns I have or any design concerns I have about the piece of gear. So let's take a look at the Outdoor Vitals CS40 and throw it up on the table here real quick and take a gander. We'll just kind of flip it around a little bit. Not too shabby, huh? Not too shabby. So pack's awesome. I've got it fully loaded out with my normal base weight loadout for a trip, along with a Bare Vault 450 inside here. This is a 40-liter pack. It is 27 ounces in size medium. This is a size small. It's made of Ultra Pack, so the material is actually waterproof, so it won't absorb water, but it is not a waterproof backpack because there are seams here. The seams aren't seam sealed. But for me, just knowing that my pack is not going to absorb water is good enough because it won't add weight. And that's one of the things I was looking for in my kit because I have a trip planned this summer and it's in a place where I might see a lot of rain and so forth. And so I want to make sure I have a pack that will be, at least the material is going to be waterproof. So let's dig in a little bit deeper to the pack. First of all, it's this small is 39 liters in the main storage area. I think medium and large around 40 liters. The front pocket is 6 liters, the stretch mesh, plenty of room and space and really durable feeling mesh. The side pockets on each side here have some kind of like stretch material at the very top, but they are 2 liters each. It can very easily fit 2 1-liter smart water bottles on each side if you want to. I usually put my water filtration on one side and then maybe a bottle or 2 on the other side. The other storage options with this pack are the hip belt pockets that come standard, and they're zip pockets. They're not waterproof zippers or pockets, but they are nicely designed. I don't worry too much about waterproof zippers because typically they don't last as waterproof very long. So those are the kind of the storage options. And one of the reasons I really brought this into my kit is that I really wanted a 40-liter pack that carried like a bigger pack. And the top end, as far as weight that's recommended in this pack, is 35 pounds. And so this pack is rated to carry 35 pounds comfortably. So I'm not a backpacker who needs a lot of room because a lot of my gear has a small form factor, but sometimes I do longer food carries or longer water carries. And that's why I needed a pack that's small, but still can carry bigger weights. And so I really was gravitating towards this pack, the CS40, for that particular reason. So if we look at some of the features of the pack that I really like, one, it's a roll top. Right here, you can see the roll top. I'm really partial to roll tops. I feel like you can change the volume of the pack easier. It's got the strap over the top. You can use it to obviously tighten up your load a little bit, cinch it down. The other thing I like about this is you can put extra clothing under here. You can put a sit pad under there. I would not recommend putting a Bare Vault, because my Bare Vault's inside, or a Bear Can on the outside. It just isn't designed for that. And I think it's not very good form, not very good idea to carry that kind of weight on the top of your pack anyway. The sides of the pack have static lines that can be cinched down, again, to control the load from shifting around and to tighten up that load in your pack if you have less gear. And I really like that feature, and it's on each side. On the back or on the front here, we've got a ice axe loop. I do a lot of backpacking in the Sierra, and so it's always good to have an ice axe loop. And then at the top here, obviously you bring the handle up and then cinch the handle into this right here. So that's a nice feature of the pack as well. The business end of this pack, this 40-liter pack, and the reason that drew me to this pack was the suspension system, the strap in the load lift system. I think that's something that Outdoor Vitals does really well. I have a Shadow Light 60-liter, and I feel like that the system they have built into that with the internal frame and the load lifters combined really do shift that weight to your hips. And what I found with this pack, I've loaded it with up to 25 pounds. I've not hiked in it yet, but I have put it on to test the fit, adjust it to get it right, and it really does. The way the pack's designed really does transfer that weight right, and it sits right on your hips, at least for me. Now remember, I'm saying these things, and I think that packs are a lot like backpacking shoes or trail runners or boots. Everybody's a little bit different. Everybody's body's a little bit different. You move a little bit different. And so for me, this pack is working really well and fits really well. Some of the features here on the pack, one, it doesn't have a pull-out sit pad, but inside the back of the pack here, it does have some foam padding on both sides, and then the stays run down, I think, behind these, as far as I can tell from feeling around. It has slits cut in the foam, so it does give some air there. Again, I haven't used it in the field, so I can't comment a lot about that. But one thing I can comment on with the back of it, with this design, is that even with the bear vault inside, which a lot of people complain a lot of times about, the bear vaults and bear cans inside their packs poking into their backs. Even with the bear vault inside, I got a BV 450 in here. It does not poke through at all. There's nothing, and there's nothing between me and and that bear vault. It's right there. It's right there. So this padding system really works well. The load lifters tie in up above the shoulder straps here, which I think is a way that really helps to transfer the weight. I'm not going to get into like these technical details, but the design is spot on as far as the ability to transfer weight. A lot of pack makers do not have their load lifters set up correctly, sorry, and they just don't shift weight very well. They pull the pack in close to your body, but they don't do a really great job of shifting the weight to your hips and into the waist belt of the pack. These do, and that's one of the reasons I had a lot of confidence. They're saying 35 pounds with this pack. I haven't gotten it there yet, but based on the 25-pound load, I think I can get it to 35 pretty comfortably. The padding in the shoulder straps seems pretty minimal. Again, it's got slits cut in it for aeration to allow for airflow. Seems a little thin, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. But honestly, again, putting some weight in this, I'm not concerned about the padding necessarily, even though it seems a little sparse. What I am thinking about is like the material that's used here. Will it snag? Will it hold up? Will it wear out over time? And only time is going to tell. So I'll do a long-term review. On the front of my pack, I've got a couple optional things here. These are the stretch water bottle holders, which you can get through Outdoor Vitals, and these are my own soft water flasks in here. I've switched to this after using a fast pack with the water bottles like this on it. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I ended up loving it, so I threw that on this pack as well. The straps themselves work out really nice. They seem to fit me really nicely, and I've got a pretty broad chest, pretty wide shoulders, and it still works out really well. Obviously, it's got a sternum strap across here too. Now, moving down to the belt. The belt really can be, it can be taken off of the pack if you want to. You can get different sizes. For example, my pack size is a small based on the recommendations on Outdoor Vitals website, which I believe are spot on. They use your inseam and your height, and I think that the way they've done that, it's worked 2 different times for me now with their packs. The hip belts, the recommendations on their website, at least at the time I'm making this video, honestly seem to be a little bit off. I'm typically a medium or even small hip belt And then so I ordered a medium based on the measurements that they had there. And then when I got it, it did fit, but it didn't leave me any extra, in case I gained a little weight or whatever, right? Or was wearing really thick clothes. During the wintertime, it didn't give me a lot of extra to pull and tighten the belt, so I went up to the large. And so I've heard similar comments from other folks who have gotten this pack. But as far as the design of how the belt is and the padding and so forth, I mean, it just fits me like a glove. And then the other thing I really like about this, and it may be hard because I'm wearing a dark shirt, but the way the hip belt strap is set up, it's a double strap, not a single strap coming off of the hip belt. And I think that for me, it feels more secure when I put that on. The other thing this hip belt does is it pulls forward to tighten, not backwards. I've always liked that about packs that do this. And this actually, with the double strap, this is the only pack that I've owned that's ultralight that uses the double strap. There may be others out there, but I think that's again, it just makes it feel like it fits better. It stays on my body better. It doesn't twist and move around with the load on board. Again, I've had up to 25 pounds in this pack, just kind of moving around the house and fitting the pack and make sure it fits me. But overall, I'm really satisfied with the way the pack fits, the way the pack is carrying at 25 pounds. And I really feel like, I've got quite a bit of experience with packs and miles. I feel like it's going to get to that 35 pounds, honestly, pretty easy. Again, some of the use cases for this pack, this summer I'm planning to do a through hike of a trail in Utah. And it's one that's known for a lot of rain storms and possibly rain. And so I wanted something with a material that's waterproof at least to help out with, absorption of water and keeping that weight lower. I wanted something too that I could carry my ultralight loadout in, because I've got a really small, I focus a lot on form factor with my gear. And so I don't need much space, but sometimes when I'm carrying food, in this case, I'm going to be carrying like 7 days of food, because I'm going to take my time so I can do some fishing on the trail, because there's some fishing available. And so I'm likely going to be taking my time, so I have to carry probably 7 days of food, something like that. I'll give you another example of use case for this pack. This summer I did the Tahoe Rim Trail, through hike the whole trail, and I took my 60-liter pack, not because I needed all the room for the BV 450 and all my snow gear and so forth. I really could have fit that all into a 40-liter pack. What I needed, though, was more food, because I needed 5 days of food, like basically 5 or 6 days of food at a time, because I was only going to resupply once. And I also needed water carries where I was carrying up to 5 liters or so of water, at least on 3 different occasions. I had to have 5 liters or more, 5-6 liters on board, and that's a lot of weight. And so I needed, even though I could have done with a smaller pack, the 40-liter pack I had to move up to 60-liter pack, which had that 35-pound rating, and to be able to carry that weight comfortably when I was doing those longer stretches without water and the food I had to carry. So those are some use cases for this pack. Again, I just think it's a smaller capacity pack that carries like a big pack. And I'm looking forward to getting it out on the trail. I'm hoping to get it out on the trail within the next month on a winter hike, maybe 40, 50 miles, something like that. And so I will definitely do another or an in-depth review once I get, let's say, 300 miles. I like to get at least 300 miles on these packs. So again, this is Juan from Juan Backpacks. Get out there, backpackers. Do some hiking. Do some backpacking. Stop watching YouTube videos, unless they're mine. Then you can watch them all from start to finish. Later, backpackers.